It's always good for you to be there. So now we're going to get with the lesson. I'm giving two small lessons, sisters and brothers, because when we had all the brothers up from everywhere, these are the things that were discussed. So first we're going to deal with marriage, with marriage. And the next one we're going to deal with circumcision of the Gentile. And these are two subjects that I have had prepared, two lessons I had prepared for since a week after we had that. And I was trying to wait until this pandemic would be removed and I could have everybody online at the same time on the first Sabbath of the month. But this thing is lasting longer than I had expected. And we don't know when the Lord is going to take it up off of us. So I figure I've sat on this lesson long enough and it needs to be taught. So the first one I'm going to deal with is titled, What Constitutes Marriage? What constitutes marriage? Brothers have been saying, and I've gone along with it for years, that if a man lay with a woman, that is his wife. So no matter how long and how long I have been reading this Bible, it took all of that time for it to resonate with me when I read what Jesus said to the woman in Samaria. That's when it hit me. Say, pay attention to what you're reading instead of listening to what you hear.
Okay, I'm pausing right here because Pastor Bowie prepared this lesson and COVID pandemic stopped him from sharing it right away. It's interesting enough that he had a lesson about marriage and why marriage that most Israelites believe today is sex equals marriage. And also this lesson he prepared about the circumcision of Gentiles, non-Israelites. So it's interesting. These two lessons are strongly contradicted or opposed by the majority of Hebrew Israelite teachers. And Bowie believed in the past that sex equals marriage, but now he's going to come against it. And then COVID-19 technically comes against the church. I wonder why. Could it be Yah's way of condemning a bad doctrine from being spread? Was it Yah's way to make IOG rethink the direction they wanted to take the church? I mean, you decide. Was COVID-19 a judgment sent by the Most High? And did it fall on IOG? And why? Has IOG adopted false teachings from the Sunday Church regarding marriage? Has IOG condemned many within their congregation, as well as most Israelite camps who are happily married without a state license? IOG has called our forefathers and today's Israelites without marriage license fornicators. IOG has judged them falsely and has paid the consequences for that unrighteous judgment. James chapter 4 verse 11. Speak not evil one of another, brethren. He that speaketh evil of his brother and judges his brother speaketh evil of the law and judges the law. But if thou judge the law, thou art not a doer of the law, but a judge. And in Matthew chapter 7 verse 1, judge not that you Be not judged. So I'm going to point out some flaws in my brother Bowie's teaching, not to judge him, but to help you better understand why your church, along with other Sunday church, was smitten by the Most High, because his teaching has judged the brethren. He has condemned the brethren. He has called them and their marriage a fornication, and in essence has came against the law, because as we will read, and I'll show you, that the law tells us that sex equals marriage. And I know that's like a broad statement. Well, I'll explain it in more detail for those who are listening but don't quite understand. And when he comes against that knowledge that sex equals marriage, he has judged the law. And when you judge falsely, you put yourself in a position to be judged. You have condemned your brethren as fornicators, and as we know, fornicators catch disease and STDs and are smitten with plague. So too have you been smitten with plague. And I'm saying that in love, because we have to understand, why would Yah punish us if we are doing what is right? Why would he smite down so many of the elders and brethren within your church if you are keeping the laws? Because you're not. You have condemned the law. There's a lot of things that's wrong with Israel. And adopting Sunday doctrine is like the straw that breaks the camel's back. And I'm going to break it down in a future video.